Hello students. So our next concept is on management of natural resources. Management of natural resources. In that, what is the importance of managing our resources? So previous class already we have discussed what are the natural resources and how to manage them. Right? Some of the techniques also we have discussed in the previous class. But today's class will discuss what is the importance of managing our natural resources. How important it is to manage our natural resources. Right? When they are available naturally, why should we manage them? Why humans should involve in manage them? Definitely, these resources should be managed because of the human activities, we started utilizing them in a rapid way. We started utilizing in a over exploiting way. So because of that, definitely there is a need of managing our resources. We should limit our usage. We should consider for future generations, and we should start utilizing them. Okay. So these natural resources are very essential to human beings as they are the basis for survival and economy. Remember, for any living being survival, all the natural resources are very essential. All these natural resources are very essential. Okay. Along with that, for generating our economy in monetary terms also, natural resources are very important. Right or not? For industrialization, for urbanization, the monetary terms to earn money, even for our survival, for everything, all the natural resources are very important. Remember, that is not only for human, for all living beings survival, natural resources are very essential. These natural resources, if you see, are classified into renewable and non-renewable natural resources. Coming to renewable resources, they are nothing but they can be replenished within shorter span. Even they are available naturally, we consume them, but it takes shorter time to replenish again, like plants and animals comes under that. Coming to non-renewable natural resources, name itself telling you, they take longer time to replenish again, because formation of all these resources like minerals, fossils, soil, taken some millions of years to form these natural resources. When we start over exploiting them, then again it takes the millions of years to form. Definitely they can form by nature, but it takes longer time. When they take longer time, due to the longer time taken, they are not available to the future generations. Our immediate next generations may not enjoy all these resources. So that definitely we need to manage these resources. Remember, we should manage renewable as well as non-renewable resources, because even renewable resources we start over exploiting, then they may damage some of the species, then biodiversity completely disturbed. That should not be done. So that definitely we should manage renewable as well as non-renewable resources. And why should we manage? How important these resources to us? Definitely these resources are very, very important to us. We use these varied natural resources in different ways, like eating, drinking, building houses and transport. In many aspects we use these resources. Right? So every activity in our daily life connected with this resource usage. Okay? Because of that, definitely we should manage these resources. Without the resource, we can't sustain our life. But some of the natural resources such as fossil fuels, forest, water are degrading due to misuse and overusing. Have you understood? Even these resources are very important to us. When humans start misusing and overusing some of the resources, especially fossils, forest, water, they started degrading. Okay, and it take longer time to replenish again. So that definitely we have to manage all these resources. We need all these resources for our survival. Therefore, there is a need to manage these resources. Okay, as we need all the resources for our survival, definitely there is a need to manage all the resources. So first let's see some reasons why it is important to manage these resources. Okay, why it is important to manage all the resources. We will see what are the reasons connected to that. First point, if you see, as population is growing rapidly, the demand for these resources is also growing rapidly. Understood, right? When population is not correlating with the availability of the resources, comparatively the available resources, population started increasing rapidly. Due to that available resources may not fulfill the demand and needs of our future generations, because when we start over exploiting them because of overpopulation, definitely these resources will not be available to our future generations, right? So that definitely there is a need of managing these resources. Okay, it is very important to manage resources so they last for the future generations also. Remember, every living being is having equal right to utilize and enjoy these resources, because in nature's point of view, every living being is equal, so that even our future generations also having an equal right. How we are enjoying the resources, they also having the equal right to enjoy our resources. So that resource management is very essential. Okay, and resource management refers to management of natural resources such as land, water, soil, fossil fuel, plants and animals. All these natural resources should be managed by utilizing some methods and techniques, and government also should inculcate some rules and regulations while utilizing all these resources. Okay, among these resources, non-renewable resources like fossil fuels, minerals, etc. are in very limited amount. So at most, management care should be given for these resources, especially like fossil fuels, minerals, etc. Therefore, they need to be managed. Even we should manage some of the renewable resources. What are the renewable resources? Like water. So there is a need of managing some of the renewable resources also. Okay, because of over exploiting, even water scarcity also starts. Okay, so let's look at some ways we can manage these resources. How well we can manage all these natural resources, we can have a look on this particular concept. So water is one of the most abundant natural resource, but fresh water is very limited. Only less than 1% of water is usable as fresh water. That already you know, right? Even water, 3/4 of our earth is filled with water. Fresh water availability is very less, and the potable water availability is very less, right? Only 1% it is fresh water. Remaining 99% water we cannot utilize them, right? So because of that, definitely water treatment and water management is needed. That anyhow in the next topics we will study that, but let us understand what is the need of managing all these resources. So that there is a technique is there to reusing the water. That is nothing but water treatment technique. So whatever the dirty water or whatever the used water, it can be collected to the sewage treatment plants or water treatment plants. Not only sewage, any water treatment plant, depend on the type of the water it is collected. Water treatment plant can convert this used water again to the fresh water. At least that water can be utilized for bathing or agriculture or irrigation purpose. We can utilize that water. So to fulfill the daily demands for water, we need to reuse the wastewater coming from the wastewater treatment process. Okay, so that is one of the techniques like reuse you have seen. Even coming to air, it's also very important natural resource. The quality of air is important for the survival of the humans and other animals. Definitely without air none of the aerobically respiring organism can live. But recently we have faced a situation where air get polluted, or where air became toxic in nature. Okay, how it affects the sustainability of living beings, we have seen recently. Some of the issues happened throughout the world. Some of the issues happened particular cities, right? After lockdown also we have faced many gas leaking situations. Industries start leaking the gases, right? So when air getting polluted, whatever the reason it is, definitely human sustainability will be affected. So that we need to maintain the quality and purity of the air. Okay, for that, air pollution is also managed by using some fewer fossil fuels. So fossil fuel utilization should be limited, okay, or reduced. Even vehicle usage also should be reduced. Whenever it is emergency or it is in the need, then only we should start using the vehicles, or else we have to look for some alternative methods. Suppose you see this eco-friendly vehicles, these are. Using electric vehicles would also decrease our dependencies on fossil fuels like oil, gas, etc. So here the electricity definitely should be alternative source of electricity like solar or any other method of electricity. Even from water also we can get the electricity, but we should not utilize the thermal electricity, because for thermal electricity again we need to depend on fossil fuels. Okay, when you depend on some alternative sources of electricity, definitely they can be act as some eco-friendly one. They can act as some eco-friendly ones. Okay, so this is one of the technique what we can follow for resource management. Other resources like wind, plants and sunlight also need to manage by properly. Okay, even these are the renewable sources of energy, or renewable sources of which are available by nature. Even though we need to manage them properly. For that, proper laws and regulations for stopping the wasting of resources are very important for resource management. So government should inculcate some rules and regulations, and some acts also should be started giving by the government for better resource management. Definitely rules and regulations by government are very important for better resource management. So all these will help us to manage and use resources effectively. So all these rules, regulations and any methods, approaches, whatever we have seen previously, these all help us to manage our resources more effectively. Okay, along with that we have 5 R's concept also. Okay, individually with our own interest also we can follow all the 5 R's. Actually 5 R's concept is given in your syllabus, but generally we use this as 3 R's. But what are the 5 R's also we'll discuss. Okay, reusing and recycling, if you see, they are very much needed for better management and utilization of all these resources. Coming to the 5 R's, they are nothing but refuse, reduce, reuse, repurpose, recycle. So these are the 5 R's. Once again let me say: refuse, reduce, reuse, repurpose and recycle. So these are the 5 R's. We'll see detailedly what it means and what we can do in these aspects. So whenever we listen or whenever we hear the situations like resources are degrading or resources are over exploiting, during the time we feel some powerlessness or overwhelmed, but we no need to feel these situations, because there are many things we can do to make a difference definitely many things we can do. Even we as an individual, we can do many things. And you must have come across 3 R's or else the 5 R's, which are necessary to save our environment. They are nothing but refuse, reduce, recycle, reuse and repurpose. So what do they refer? We'll see each and every one individually. Coming to reduce is nothing but you use less. Your utilization should be reduced. Whenever it is required, that time only we have to start using them. So it means you use less. Okay, you save electricity by switching off unnecessarily lights and fans. So sometimes we have, as a children, you have the tendency, some of you have tendency, unnecessarily you on the lights and fans, and when you are moving to the other room, you forget to off these lights and fans. Okay, that should not be done, because this electricity, for generating this electricity, we are consuming, or the industries are consuming lot of coal and petroleum, right? So when we conserve electricity, then definitely consumption of coal and petroleum also can be reduced. Okay, you don't think that we are affordable to pay the current bills. Okay, we are affordable, we have money, and you should not think in such a way, because actual reason behind this, it's not the monetary term. For generating this electricity, definitely lot of coal and petroleum should be consumed. To stop the consumption, you should conserve the electricity. And you save water by repairing leaky taps. So at home, any leaky taps are there, whenever we repair them, because of that, water loss can be minimized. You don't waste the food, because food preparation also, if you see food preparation, it takes a lot of fuels like LPG. You take example at home also, when mother cooks, she cooks through LPG gas, or else on the induction stove there electricity is required. So you should minimize the wasting of the food. Okay, can you think of other things that you can reduce the usage of it? Definitely carpooling is one of the techniques. Carpooling, in the carpooling technique, like a cab sharing it is. So when you and your friends are reaching to the same destination, then you can share the car or cab. Okay, and start using public transport instead of private transport. With these methods also we can save electricity. And start using staircase instead of using lift. If it is possible to you to walk through staircase, definitely it's preferable to walk through staircase instead of using lift. Okay, remember, public transport usage and cab sharing, these all are very better management techniques, resource management techniques, but it's not applicable for the current scenario. Remember that in the corona situation, or because of the hygienic aspects, when it is not suitable. But once everything comes to the normal, definitely those methods are the best techniques. Okay, that is about reducing. You should reduce your usage of the resources. Next one, recycling. Recycling is little energy consuming process. Recycling consumes somewhat energy. Suppose you see, when using of the resources are inevitable, you can't avoid the usage. Once you use them, better at least we send them for the recycling instead of throwing and dumping here and there. So there, instead of synthesizing or extracting fresh plastic, paper, glass or metal, we can send them for recycling. Okay, when we can send them, we can collect and we can send them for the recycling. In order to recycle, we first need to segregate our waste so that the material that can be recycled is not dumped along with other waste. So depend on the type of the material, we can segregate them. Definitely recycling is a good management technique for materials like plastic, paper, glass, and some of the metals. Okay, when you send them for recycling, even some amount of energy is consumed for converting them from the previous state to the new state. The industries need not to synthesize or extract freshly all these raw materials. Okay, so that is about recycling. Coming to reuse, other third R is reusing. So reusing is nothing but using again and again. So what type of materials we can use again and again? Okay, so this is actually even better than recycling, because the process of recycling uses some energy. Remember, sometimes in exam they ask you which method is preferable, reuse or recycle. Definitely reusing. Best one is reducing. Okay, if you can't reduce your usage, once you start using them, at least than the recycling, we can reuse them. Before sending them for recycling, we can start them reusing, because recycling definitely consumes some amount of energy. Instead of that, reusing, if you see, is not consuming any energy. In reuse strategy, you simply use things again and again. Instead of throwing away just your used envelopes, you can reserve it and use it again. Okay, you can reverse them. Okay, and you can use them again and again. The plastic bottle in which you buy various food items like jam or pickle can be used for storing things in the kitchen, right? Instead of buying a new plastic or Tupperware boxes, anything for utilizing in kitchen, we can use these containers which are given through jam or pickle bottles. These bottles can be used for storing purpose in the kitchen. So what other items can be reused? And you all are very familiar with this topic, right? Reusing. So reusing, for this case, you can switch to using cloth bags or jute bags instead of using polythene covers. So because of that, what will happen? They can be reused because they are washable. Again and again you can start using. Some other techniques you can think, and I hope I need not to explain this detailedly, because as you are more innovative and you do many reusing techniques. I know, as a teacher, I know you better, right? So you have done many innovative techniques and innovative things also by using the reusing concept. So that is about reusing. So how to get started? This 5 R's, if you see, keep the 5 R's in mind. Reduce, recycle. If you see, first one is the refuse. Know how to say no to whatever not essential. So when it is not needed, definitely you start refusing that one. Definitely you should start refusing that one. So best example, whenever you go to shopping mall or somewhere, if you go, so definitely when they offer any polythene covers to you or extra bags to you, during the time you can just say refuse, and you can carry your own bag, right? You can carry your own bag. So that is about refusing. Coming to reduce, adopt minimal tendencies. So usage, if it is an inevitable, definitely you have to use, at least reduce the usage should be reduced. And definitely during the usage we should prefer biodegradable substances. Coming to reuse, already I discussed this one. Instead of using plastic or polythene covers, we can prefer to use jute bags or cotton bags or cloth bags, which can be reused again and again. And recycling, whenever the materials are used, you can send them for the recycling purpose. Like prioritize recyclable packaging. So when you are preferring using the polythene covers also, whether the cover is recyclable or not, once you can check, and such type of material you can prefer. And fifth R, if you see, it's changed here like rot. So compost all organic waste. So whatever the biodegradable waste is collected, better we have to compost them instead of throwing here and there. Okay, then we can generate some sort of electricity. Actually rot is not given in your syllabus. Fifth R is repurpose. Fifth R is repurpose. We will see what is repurpose. Okay, so reduce, reuse, recycle, and the fourth and fifth R's if you see refuse and repurpose. So repurpose is nothing but like the purpose of the object, using of the object can be changed. So this means, especially the repurpose means when a product can no more be used for the original purpose. When the product is no more can be used for the original purpose, think carefully and use it for some other useful purpose. So purpose can be changed, but definitely you reuse that. You will reuse it. So best example for that, if you see cracked crockery or cups with broken handles. Crockery cups, like that we call the pingani or china dish, china clay. With the china clay they are made, right? Crockery cups, if you see, they're very attractive, decorative in nature, right? Because of its like good looking. Even the handle is broken, the cup handle is broken, you can't throw them, still it is beautiful in appearance, right? So then what you can do, we can use them to grow small plants and as feeding vessels for birds. So that is one of the method how you can change the purpose of the object. Okay, and but even while making everyday choices, we can make environment friendly decisions. For doing this, we need to know more about how our choices affect the environment. These effects may be immediate or long lasting or long ranging. The concept of sustainable development encourages form of growth that meet current basic human needs while preserving the resources for the needs of future generations. Economic development is linked to environmental conservation. Thus, sustainable development implies a change in all aspects of life. And this sustainable development depends upon the willingness of the people to change their perceptions of the socio-economic and environmental conditions around them, and the readiness of each individual to alter their present use of natural resources. Definitely, without the involvement of human or without the involvement of people, none of the things can be achieved. Okay, to manage, for better management of all the resources, human involvement is definitely needed. Okay, and definitely we should prefer for long-term perspectives than the short-term goals. Definitely we should prefer long-term perspectives than the short-term goals. So short-term goals are nothing but when human concentrates only on the economic aspect to increase the economy of the country or economy of the particular industry, then they start using more amount of resources. Due to that, ecological balance can be damaged or disturbed. That should not be done. Okay, long-term perspective case, definitely government as well as people should concentrate on the long-run utilization of the resources, which will be beneficial for economy as well as ecology. So environmental point of view also, that long-term perspective of consuming the resources, definitely it will be beneficial to the environment. Definitely we can meet our demands, we can fulfill our demands. At the same time, environment also will be in a harmonious way. Okay, and the willingness of people to change their perception of the socio-economic and environmental conditions around them, and the readiness of each individual to alter their present use of natural resources definitely plays a crucial role in managing all these resources. Okay, so that is about today's concept. I hope you understood.